Hi guys, it's Ray here from raynewland.com. Hope you're fitting well, and I hope my free videos are helping you move your life forward, and I hope the videos that I've put together from these famous people are also helping you. Now this video today is going to be titled, You Need to Learn to Ask the Right Questions. Very, very important. I think it was Bill Gates. Someone asked Bill Gates, what's the difference between entrepreneurs that get to this level to the ones that sort of struggle and stay here? And what he said was it's the quality of the questions that they ask the right questions. Okay, now what I mean by that is it's these two things that you've got to really focus on here. Whether you want to move your business life forward, whether it's spiritually you want to move yourself forward, whether you want to become an actor or an actress, whether you want to become you want to be a sports professional, the first thing is you've got to be in the right environment and ask the right people. So if you're here and you want to get to here, you need to find people who are at that level in what you're interested in, and ask these guys the question. The massive mistake people make, and I've made this mistake many times, is you ask your family and friends, or you ask your mate down the pub, hey, what do you think? And everyone will come back and go, and their answer will be, well, what I think, the answer is, so I'll say it again, what they will say is, what I think is this. So they're not giving you an answer on their experiences or their proven experiences, they're giving you an answer on what they think, if that makes sense. And there's been so many times when I've asked my family and friends and mates down the pub, what do you think? Well, this is what I think. And I've gone and acted on what they think and then wondered why I failed. So it's very important that you ask the right people the right questions. So you need to get yourself in an environment where these people are going to be. And in this day and age, it's so easy to do that now. It could be, find out what there could be events, there could be seminars, there could be tournaments. So for example, if you love tennis, you could go to all the tournaments, watch all the tournaments, and then obviously when the professionals are coming off, you can then sort of ask for the autograph and ask the questions, which will come to that in a moment. So you need to be in the right environment. You also as well, not necessarily you've got to see these guys face to face now. If they've wrote a book, if they've done something on the website, they've offered advice on the website, read the books of these people the way you want to be. If they've done an audio program, if they offer to become a mentor in entrepreneurship. Now there's a lot of successful people offer their services to be a mentor. That's something I strongly recommend if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur. Find someone who's in your niche, something that you're the same passion as you, and yet you've got to give these guys money, but trust me, it's worth it if you find the right person. So the first thing is to say you've got to ask the right questions of the right people. So once you're in that environment, what do you do? Now the biggest mistake I made when I always wanted to be, an entrepreneur. I wanted to make my money come in on autopilot, so I didn't have to work for it. So I earn money while asleep, if that makes sense. So I wanted to be in an environment where people would teach me that. Now once I was in that environment, foolishly, I was watching what other people were doing, and other people were approaching these famous, successful entrepreneurs and basically stalking them, and I had notepads and pen and asking question after question, and I didn't want to be like that. I wanted to come across different, so I'd introduce myself to them, ask about the weather, hey, did you see the soccer game, or you're going on holiday. So I'd have a good conversation with them, and that entrepreneur probably thought, oh, he was a nice guy. But what did I get out of that conversation? Nothing whatsoever. And then I wondered why my businesses weren't moving forward. So now when I go into these environments, I still don't want to be like these guys that stalk people, because I don't believe in doing that, to be honest with you. So I try and be as polite as I can. I still talk about, hey, do you see the soccer game, etc. But I always go with at least two questions, that I need. If it's only one question, so be it. I won't ask more than three questions. You've probably been in an environment where you've seen someone and they're asking question after question after question. A lot of the questions are needless. They don't have to be answered. Sorry, they don't have to be asked. Sorry, and that's when you see the person who's up here who's getting asked all the questions. That's when you start seeing them edging away, if that makes sense, because they don't mind asking one or two questions or maybe three, but when you've got like 6 questions, then another one, it's a bit like, whoa, okay, give me some space to breathe here. So don't fall into that. Don't fall into the trap what I did and try to be a nice guy and ask no questions, but don't be like these weirdos that ask 100 questions, because that will put the person off. Go with like 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most, really solid questions. So when I'm speaking to when I've introduced myself to someone up here where I want to be, I'll be polite to them, ask a few questions. So, hey, do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions and get my notepad out, please? And as I say, most people who are at this level, the decent people, they want to help. Now, don't get me wrong, every now and again you'll get an arsehole who's got no interest to help you. Just don't worry about them. Most people have come from nothing and they've not forgotten where they've come from. And people have helped them along the way to get where they are, so they've not forgotten that. And most people like me believe in karma, and hence the reason why I'm doing these free videos. They believe in karma, so they think, well, if someone helped me to get to this stage, I need to give something back. I need to help other people, because I believe that's how the universe works, by help. Once you get to a stage, if someone's helped you, you help somebody else, and that's how most people think, thankfully. So again, I say, if you do meet an arsehole, don't worry about it. Maybe 1 in 100 will be an arsehole. It's a numbers game. Just keep asking. Trust me, most people at the level where you want to be have not forgotten where they've come from, and they will want to help. But just ask 1 or 2, maybe 3 solid questions. So so when I'm speaking to the person where I want to be, I'll say, look, you know, can I ask you a question? I've got my notepad. Oh, thank you. And then I'll just ask them the questions where I'm really struggling with. So I'll say, hey, look, I'm struggling with this part of my business at the moment. What would you do in my situation? And then I'd let them tell me, and then I'd write it down, ask them a couple of questions, then obviously thank them for the time, I'd be gone. And then the most important thing is I'd make sure I'd implement their advice into my business, if that makes sense. So it's very important, you know, like what Bill Gates says, you need to ask the right questions of the right people. So get to an environment where you want to be, you can meet these people where you want to be. And it's so easy now, these events, these seminars, as I say, you can go to tournaments if you like tennis, if you like golf, you can go to these tournaments and obviously, you know, get to meet these guys and ask the right questions. You know, if you're a spiritualist, go to the right go to the correct churches, etc., and you meet the top pastors or the top priests, etc. You know, so there's no excuse in this day and age. You can, with a bit of research, get yourself in the right environment to ask the right questions to the right people. And once you're in the right environment, make sure you ask 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most solid questions, and then make sure you implement them into your business life, okay? So again, if you listen to the videos that I put together from these famous people, again, you'll always hear them speak about mentors. They've always asked from someone who's at a higher level than them, okay? Very, very important, okay? So learn, like Bill Gates said, learn to ask the right questions of the right people, and I guarantee, as long as you act on the advice, it will move your life forward. Hope you enjoyed this video, and again, as I keep saying in all my videos, if all my free videos are helping you move your life forward, please tell your family and friends so I can also help them. Have an amazing day or an amazing night wherever you are. All the best.